Okay, now that we've talked about feedback and rewards and how dangerous they are, now we come across the concept of Thorndike's law of effect, as simple as it is. Behavior with favorable consequences is often repeated. Behavior with unfavorable consequences disappears, or it should disappear. This is such a basic concept that it would be easy to pass over it in a class setting. But as easy as it is, it's very meaningful for the future manager or the existing manager because it's focused on, it leads you to believe and think about external factors and rewards. So here we have the rewards and the punishments. So if I reward an employee, and you know that's dangerous, I will get the same behavior again. If I punish the person, the employee, that behavior should disappear. But I'm thinking that these positive and negative outcomes or consequences they're extrinsic, and it's not. Maybe it's just not needed. Okay, so as a manager, you're going to say, okay, favorable consequences. If you do this, you'll get that. If you do this, you'll get that. And this would lead the manager to be thinking about rewards, which we know are troublesome, recognition, that could be, okay, suspension. If you do that again, I'm going to suspend you. I'm going to punish you, hoping that you won't do it again. I'm going to scold you, hoping you won't do it again. I'm going to punish you, hoping you won't do it again. You're going to get a pay cut, hoping you won't do it again. And if you do it again, we're going to fire you. Hey, you did something good. We'll have a party. All of these things are management tricks, and they're also extrinsic consequences to the employee. They come from the outside. So, in fear that you're going to call me a Pollyanna, I went and looked up the definition of conscience. An inner feeling or voice viewed as acting as a guide to the rightness or wrongness of one's behavior. An inner feeling or voice that is a guide to right and to wrong. If we have any kind of hiring process at all, we should focus on hiring employees that have a conscience. That means that they have an internal voice and a guide that tells them what is right and wrong. Once we put this person into our culture, our company, we train them, they know the norms and the guidelines, then can't we get rid of all of this stuff? Just get rid of it. And focus on intrinsic consequences, the positive and negative outcomes of behavior. So, if we were to do this, we don't have to do all of this stuff, but we focus. If we hire people that have a conscience to begin with, and they know what's right and wrong, and we kind of tell them what's right and wrong here, shouldn't the inner feelings and their voice tell them when things have gone bad and when they've gone good? So the positive consequences that come from the inside would be the feel-good of success, the pride of doing the right thing, showing up for work, doing all your responsibilities. This would be motivating. The success. We're riding the wave. We're at the peak. We're performing. We're motivated. We would have joy. We would have no fear. We would have a sense of victory. And our self-esteem would go up. And once our self-esteem goes up, our reputation of being a great performer, we don't want to lose that. A person with a conscience wouldn't want to lose that. Now, a person with a conscience that screws up, bad behavior, would end up in a state of embarrassment, maybe even depression. they would kind of hate themselves and hate the situation. They would want this inner feeling to disappear. And they wouldn't do the behavior again, right? It would also create fear because now they're in an insecure position as far as jobs go, and shame, public shame, and low morale. So do we need all of the external things, all of these stupid management tricks to get people to do the right thing and repeat positive, good behavior? Or can we rely on the person with a conscience and their intrinsic feelings, outcomes, consequences of their behavior? I think you can. A lot of people say, no, you have to have all of this in place. I don't know. I think, you know what, maybe this is enough. I think a person with a conscience beats himself up enough. This only makes it worse. This might drive them overboard, where they just give up and quit or do something even worse. So, what are we going to do here? Well, as far as rewards and punishments and all of that stuff goes, maybe we could just pay well to begin with, Alfie Kahn again, and ask ourselves, do we need rewards, outside rewards, consequences, punishments? Or can we allow the conscience of the person to direct them? They might not have they might not see the situation in a case of failure or a poor performance, but as a coach, supporter, mentor, manager, leader, we could point out the problems and let the inner stuff fix the problem. I remember being told that I was a poor performer at the big corporation I worked with. And they said, we have to do twice as much of this because you don't do that. And I go, what? I didn't realize. Teach me how. Oh, this is the way you do it. Okay, good. But I was depressed, and I wanted to get that depression off of me and bring back my self-esteem and pride and be a valuable team member as a person with a conscience. So did I need this? No. Just needed a little bit of constructive feedback, a little bit of coaching, a little bit, 3 minutes of training, and get back on track. So I moved from the negative, intrinsic stuff over to the positive, because it's fun to be over here. This is fun. Over there, not so much fun. So, taking a basic concept, the law of effect, behaviors with favorable consequences is often repeated. Behavior with unfavorable consequences disappears. Hey, can it come internally? Does it have to be external? I'll let you decide.